The screams of the rotor blades cut through the cold night air as the helicopter descended toward the glowing sports field of Ridgewood High, and in that deafening moment, the same school that once mocked her name was about to witness the return of the girl they labeled the class loser. The bright lights reflected off the sleek black helicopter as people shielded their eyes, whispering, confused, shocked, and curious. And when the door opened, their whispers turned into stunned silence, because the girl they once laughed at had become the woman they could no longer ignore. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that remind us that life can change in the most unexpected ways, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel Ripple of Kindness. Years before this moment, the same field was where Maya Thompson used to sit alone during lunch, pretending to be busy with her notebook because no one wanted to sit beside her. She wasn't from a wealthy family, she didn't have the newest clothes, and her shy nature made her an easy target for cruel jokes. Her classmates used to leave mocking notes on her locker, laugh at her thrifted outfits, and whisper loudly when she walked past them. Teachers pitied her, students mocked her, and Maya spent years believing she was invisible. She carried the heaviness of loneliness like a second backpack, and even after graduation, the memories followed her like shadows she couldn't shake off. The world outside school wasn't easy either. College felt overwhelming, work felt like a battle, and she often questioned if life had anything good planned for her. But somewhere deep inside, the girl who once sat alone at lunch found the strength to keep going, refusing to let the past define what her future could become. Life began to change for Maya the day she walked into a small nonprofit office for a part-time job. She didn't know that the man interviewing her would turn her entire world upside down. Ethan Walker, soft-spoken yet confident, with a kindness in his voice she rarely heard growing up, chose her not because of her past but because he believed in her potential. Their connection was gentle and unexpected, like sunlight after a long winter. They started working on charity projects, long evenings filled with planning, hope, and a shared desire to create something meaningful. Slowly, Ethan became the first person to see her, not the broken girl she thought she was, but the woman she could become. And she learned to trust again, to believe again, and to love again. The world that once mocked her could no longer reach her, she had stepped into a new life where love and kindness replaced cruelty and shame. What she didn't know in those early days was that Ethan wasn't just a kind soul, he was also a young millionaire who had inherited and grown his family's foundation. But he never flaunted it, and Maya never cared. She didn't fall in love with his wealth, she fell in love with the way he made her feel seen. When the reunion invitation arrived, Maya stared at it for a long time. "Everyone's going to be there," the message said. "We'd love to see what you've made of your life." But it didn't feel warm or genuine. It felt sharp, like the same old teasing wearing a new mask. She sensed the mockery hidden beneath the words. A part of her wanted to ignore it, to protect herself from reopening old wounds. But then Ethan placed a gentle hand on her back and said the words that helped her breathe again, "You owe them nothing, but you owe yourself closure." And so Maya chose not to hide anymore. She chose to walk back into the place that broke her, but this time, she wouldn't walk alone. As the helicopter touched down, her former classmates stood frozen in disbelief. They had arrived expecting a timid, lonely girl wearing discomfort like an accessory. Instead, Maya stepped out with quiet grace, wearing a simple yet elegant dress, her confidence glowing like a second skin. Ethan held her hand as if she was the most precious person in the world, and the crowd's eyes widened even more. None of them could hide their shock, and their whispers rippled through the air. Some tried to force a smile, pretending they were happy to see her, others stared as if trying to rewrite every insult they once threw at her. Maya felt the old sting in her chest, but she also felt something stronger, the realization that she no longer needed their approval. She didn't come to impress them, she came to free herself from the weight of her past. Inside the decorated gym, the music, the lights, and the faces of people who once made her cry all blended together. People approached her one by one, their voices awkward and overly sweet. They complimented her dress, her success, her husband, anything they could cling to. But Maya didn't need their validation. She simply smiled, polite yet distant, showing them that their words no longer had power over her. For the first time, they saw a woman who wasn't shaped by their cruelty but by her own resilience. And they realized too late that the girl they called loser had become someone far stronger than they ever imagined. Maya stood near the photographs displayed on a memory board. Her old pictures stared back at her, awkward, lonely, trying so hard to belong. She felt tears in her eyes, not of sadness but of compassion for her younger self. She wished she could reach back in time and tell that girl that one day, she would walk into this same room with her head held high, loved and cherished, stronger than every cruel word spoken against her. Ethan wrapped an arm gently around her shoulders, silently reminding her that she was no longer alone. She had finally defeated the echoes of her past not by fighting them, but by outgrowing them. The night ended with classmates whispering rumors, wondering how she had transformed so much, trying to piece together the life she lived now. But the truth was simple: Maya didn't need revenge. Her life, her success, her happiness, and her peace were louder than any insult they had ever thrown. She walked out of the reunion feeling lighter, stronger, and healed. If this story touched your heart even a little, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Ripple of Kindness. Your support helps us spread more inspiring stories to the world. Before you go, comment below: kindness changes everything.